Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Around Campus College Football Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Biringer. Catch this up, Specialty Media, Full Press Media up on YouTube as well. Got my boy Jeremy Evans with me, rocking Noel Channel. We're here to talk about college football. We got the hot topic of conversation. Everybody wants to talk about it. It's everywhere. It's across your feed besides Lane Kiffin, who doesn't shut up. We got to talk about the 2014 playoff. Jeremy, we are talking college football, my brother.
Do it. We're there.
We're here. Well, we're not here yet.
We're not here yet.
We're not there yet.
But listen, in our younger days, May, this time of year into June meant, oh man, the magazines are coming out.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're there. Remember those days?
Dude, I do. Like ESPN, bring them out. Sports Illustrated, talk about
Athlon.
spring ball, like Athlon,
That
like
was the time
everybody.
when you know it's here. Athlon,
It's here.
Smith, conference preview. But now with the portal, those magazines mean nothing.
No, they don't mean anything. Plus, let's be honest, like, look, Josh Pate, I love him, Pate Nation, Pate State. Like, he's just like every Saturday, it's like 6 more Saturdays. Like, buddy, I need to get through summer first. Like, don't rush to like, but
you have a Stanley Cup to get through. He does.
I got a Stanley Cup to get through.
Yeah.
I got free agent. I got a lot of other things to get through.
Yeah,
he doesn't.
He's
got to hype it up. But let's talk about it. 2014 playoff. Everybody wants to talk about it. Discussion. Hey, why are we doing this? Is it a great idea? No. Okay. First of all, I'm totally against the 2014 playoff. I didn't like expansion to 12. I'm kind of living with it. I rather look. I'm from the old school. I like the old BCS system, to be honest. I like 4 teams. I want an exclusive. I don't like mediocrity. I think mediocre teams getting in the playoff. First, everybody already complains enough about blowouts and this and that. You want to see blowouts in the first round of the playoff? They're going to be blowouts in 24 teams.
Into the second.
And into the second, right? Like, I just want to get your thoughts on it because, like, me and you are purists when it comes to the game of college football. And we've never actually really sat down and actually talked about it.
This is our first video segment.
First video of tape. But I want to get your thoughts on the playoff itself. Has it done to college football? And do you think it's made it better?
The 12 is better in some ways than I thought it would be, and then some ways not as much. I'm still scarred from Florida State getting left out of the BCS. I understand that's another topic for another time. But that being said, there was a lot of politicking more in a 4 than a 12, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But they missed the boat this year on the playoffs. And I'm not saying because Miami got in and ended up going to the championship. I'm not saying that. Liberty and who was the other small school that got in?
James Madison.
James Madison getting in. Could you imagine if they had Texas go out to Oregon or Notre Dame go out to Oregon? What that would have done for ratings and from just a matchup on the field standpoint. Enough with handing out bids to conference winners from these small schools just because it looks cool on paper.
Right.
Enough with that. I want the 12 best teams. If you feel it's one of the 12 best, that's it. That's what it was supposed to do. Is there still politicking in this one? Yes. ESPN has ruined the sport in so many ways. If you're watching this and you're with ESPN, I apologize, but I can go on forever about it. I don't want to see we have to put this SEC team in to keep ESPN happy or keep the SEC happy and vice versa. I don't want to see that anymore.
But I got a question for you, though. We talk about politicking. How come ESPN's not politicking for the ACC? Because they have ACC games on. They have Big 12 games on.
They have about a 15%. I mean, that they pay nothing to the ACC that much. It doesn't hurt their bottom line whether the ACC is there or not. SEC is their $1 or $2 billion investment.
Yeah, exactly. Because
you have a financial portfolio and you have $100 million in one thing and 500,000 in another. What are you going to pay more attention to?
Yeah, exactly. The SEC, and I agree. And I agree.
They have the ACC for pennies on the dollar.
Right. And the ACC also has games on CW Network and other networks as well where they're getting their revenue.
That's another story.
Right. That's another story. Actually, it's been really good to see it on CW, to be honest. Right. But you look at it, it's just like, yeah, the SEC's on ESPN, and we have all this. We have the college football show and the made-for-TV playoff and the politicking that goes on there. And Richard Clark was on. I think he was with Josh Pate, actually, because he asked him about, like, what goes behind the scene. And he's like, we only have this really 3 to 4 minute window. We don't really see behind the scenes. But it's like, yeah, but we go back to it, and it's like, but I go back to last year. Alabama was not better than Notre Dame. If you watch them field
No, they
on
weren't.
the field,
Notre Dame
pound
after
for
that
pound,
Miami game was good, and then they
right,
lost to a really good A&M team.
right.
Um,
And
so
look, to me, to two teams that probably shouldn't have been in last year were Oklahoma and Alabama.
I'm not sure. I don't know if
They were
Alabama
they were they were mediocre. You saw it in the playoff game when they
did see it.
played each other. It
Yeah,
was a mediocre game with
yeah,
two
I was there.
mediocre teams. And when Alabama stepped up to play Indiana,
Blowout.
you could tell it was a complete blowout.
Yeah.
It was just straight up
I'm
blowout.
tired of we have to keep the SEC happy. We have to keep this enough.
Best teams, best teams get in,
Best team.
plain and simple.
And
Plain
it
and
tends to
simple.
work. It tends to sort itself out by the time we get to the semifinals and finals.
This year
Um,
it did.
this year it sure did, and the year before too, to a degree. Uh, I'm just tired of the long. I have other issues more than the amount of teams. And I
Right.
think we talked about this. Is the layoff between games doesn't help,
Yeah. No.
and saying semifinals have to be on a Thursday and Friday. That thing because we got to keep the
No.
NFL happy.
We need to keep college football
Saturdays.
on Saturday and NFL on Sunday.
It's so much better for traveling purposes. These fans have to travel on short notice. Just make it Saturday.
Right.
I know
And
it's
let's
the
keep it
holiday
Saturday.
time, so people are off a little more than
Yeah.
normal. I don't care. And I don't want to kowtow to the Rose Bowl anymore. College football is taking away the luster in so many ways. Why are we like, oh, we got to keep the Rose Bowl happy? We
Right.
got to keep. Uh, I think no one anticipated that the first round on the college campuses would be the home run it's been.
I mean, I think most people figured it was going to be, but
That's been a home run success. Not even just from a revenue standpoint. I mean, look at the laser shows and all the cool stuff they've done at these games for the home atmosphere.
well, and I think here's where I come in on this. This is why I think eventually it goes to 16. Like as much as I wanted 12, and I agree with Reese Davis, I think 16 is pushing it. 24 teams is absolutely just going over a line.
We need a regular season then.
No, exactly, and that's my point, and we'll get to that in a minute. 16, I think, it's going there. I've always heard about it. You're going to 16. First two rounds are going to be on college campuses, and then the semifinals and national championship are neutral site games.
And I'm fine with that. You still have to keep the BCS sites happy. You still have to get the corporate stuff. I get it. But let's reward a team for getting a bye.
Right.
I mean, I heard some people say, I wish we didn't have the bye. Then we would have less of a layoff. We're better going to the second round, and we could maybe host a first round.
Well, then you're going to have 16 teams, and then everybody plays. And then everybody plays and has a first round game.
Yeah. The byes are not helpful to the sport.
No, it's not. And look, yeah, Indiana proved that you can have the rest, but that was a machine. Like last year, Indiana team was a machine.
Indiana, for about 10 reasons, is the anomaly of what college football is all about. From a program like that, from a coach, from everything.
Right.
So you can't go by Indiana. And we're going to see that more down the line.
And even Dan Lanning said it. His team the year before had to bye, and they weren't sure what to expect from it. But he also did say that if his team had a bye and the game was being played at Oregon, instead of them having to travel to a neutral site game, the result's different. I mean, I'm all for.
They got blown out against Ohio State so bad.
I think if Ohio State has to travel to Oregon and Oregon gets to stay at home for the bye, maybe it's a different outcome.
Home atmosphere always changes the pendulum.
And okay, so say we don't go to 16. Say we stay at 12 with the byes, and we still have that. Then you still have to do first two rounds on college campus.
I agree.
Because they have to be there. Like I think if you're under this old format and you don't have a bye, you're going to see teams maybe try to finagle themselves to get a home playoff game.
You're going to see that, and you're seeing some teams, like geographically, like Oregon's supposed to be reward. Well, no, Oregon had to go to Miami.
Yeah.
It just geographically, some of these just don't make sense.
Like you almost have to do it like the where you set yourself up by a region.
Yeah, in college hockey too.
Right.
No one talks about how I know I'm switching topics, but
it's good.
Denver really benefited this year from they got to play in nearby Colorado in the regionals, and then they got to go to Vegas for the Frozen Four short flight.
That's huge.
It's huge, especially in hockey. It's even
Oh
more than
God.
football. So I think that needs to be taken into account. They have something with the home campuses. I understand they're not going to get the corporate revenue as much
But
as
it
they
helps
would.
the school.
Of
The
course, it
school
helps
needs
the school.
the school help. It helps the school and the conference.
Let them benefit from getting there.
Right.
I agree, but they love the neutral sites and the corporate money and the bowl stuff.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Well, but you have that with the title games, with the conference
But the title
championship
game
games.
has nothing to do with
No, I know.
the New Year's Six.
No, I
It's
know.
on location and on site.
Yeah,
They use the New Year's Six to please them for the semifinals and finals, and sometimes it happens to work out. Like Miami got to host 2 games.
that doesn't happen.
I'm talking
That's
about the city of Miami. They had Oregon, Texas Tech, and then they had the national title game.
right, and it's rare to see the team that is in the playoff get to play the national title game at home.
Yeah, I mean, weird things happen sometimes. I get it. This year it's in Vegas, so that shouldn't be an issue.
Well, yeah, UNLV's not getting there, so
yeah, UNLV's not getting there. We're good.
We're good.
USC has a monumental run. Arizona State that I can't think of that many teams close by there. That's
that's not. And no, I mean the only team that's close-ish is Oregon.
Is Oregon? Yeah,
Oregon's close-ish.
Right.
Like and Texas. Like those are geographically.
Texas is the same distance to Vegas as they are to Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
They're right in the middle.
We got to see if Texas even gets there. They got to be there. But like again, like everybody wants to reward mediocrity, and you mentioned it before the regular season. Josh Page talked about it. We've talked about it, like off air.
The guy I can't stand. Sorry, this week, Herb Street.
Herb Street's talking about it,
and he has a lot. I can't stand the guy, and I can go on a whole episode about that.
No, we can talk about that another time.
He has influence.
Yeah.
He says, let's not ruin these rivalries because we were going to talk about how you basically are saying the regular season mean nothing, which kills me. Because the luster of college football has always been every game matters every week, and one game can ruin your season.
Right. And even in a 12-team playoff, the regular season still matters.
When you lost 2 ACC games by standard, by normalcy, you're done.
Right. And 14 playoff, 1 loss, you were done. That was it. It was over.
Done. And especially when you go to a conference title game.
Yeah.
That was done. You could backdoor your way in, like Alabama did last year.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the conference championship game. I think there's a lot more you could do.
Me too. I mean, if you want to have your look, I hate play-ins. I don't want to reward. But if you want to use your conference championship games or the conference championship weekend as like a play-in, I guess I'd be okay with it. It's better than the conference championship game because then teams backdoor their way in because of the selection show. But the regular season has to matter. Like you cannot tell me like everybody's like saying, "Oh, Michigan and Ohio State wouldn't rest players because of rivalry." You want to bet? If you have to play 5 games, you want to bet they're not sitting players that weekend?
That's the one rivalry where they tend to throw everything out the window in terms of we have to win this game. There's a lot of rivalries that will happen. Right.
But there will be and the rivalry weekend's gone anyway because half the rivalries are early in the year now.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Like at the end, Thanksgiving weekend was Egg Bowl, was Civil War game. Florida State, Florida. You had
Texas,
Paul Bunyan Axe. You had all the major trophy games were that weekend. Egg Bowl, all that stuff.
What are the big ones now on rivalry weekend? Michigan, Ohio State, Texas A&M, us, Florida, even though it's not the game it used to be.
Paul Bunyan Axe, I think, is still that weekend.
Bunyan Axe, Arizona State.
Not Civil War's earlier now.
That's true.
Oregon State's earlier. Washington State's earlier.
Yeah.
I think Iron Bowl's still that weekend.
It is. Oh yeah.
Iron Bowl's still that weekend. But a lot of the other games are earlier now.
Now you want these games on Friday a lot? Like Florida State and Florida and Texas A&M are both playing on Friday.
Why? Why?
It's all TV. It's all TV.
Big Ten. But I just don't want to diminish the regular season. I don't want 8 and 4 teams in the playoff.
You can't. You can't do this. It's awful because
it's bad enough for me. It's bad enough that 6 and 6 teams and even 5 and 7 teams are getting bowl games.
Yeah, a lot of it is because other teams are opting out of bowls and they're getting the spot. But I hear you. It used to be a big deal to make a bowl.
Bowl games used to be a reward for your season.
Of course.
Like 7-5 to me would be the standard to get into a bowl game because you
agree.
had a winning. That's a winning record.
COVID changed the whole bowl,
right? But
theory.
I don't want an 8-4 team in the playoff. The playoff is supposed to be exclusive. The best teams. You're telling me. So, and again, you want 24 teams. My argument is, well, don't we only have 25 teams that are ranked every week? And who's the ranking system? Is College Football Playoff Committee going to do it every week? No, is it the AP poll? Is it this poll? Is it that? Go back to the AP poll. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, no, and that's what upsets me too, is you're basically telling us until we get into, what, week 6 or 7?
No, 10.
Week 10 is when they start the playoff. Like ESPN comes on
every
week and does
9, 10, yeah, exactly.
Right, that's when they're, quote, saying that it matters. So you're saying for the first 8, 9 weeks of the year,
don't matter.
They should. I've always said I don't like preseason rankings. I think it should be week 2 or 3 that they set up the rankings.
I agree. I don't like preseason rankings because everybody was like picking Penn State, Clemson, like preseason.
It's all mythical.
And to me, the only thing that matters for preseason rankings is, and this is why I don't understand it, the years that like some of these teams won national championships. Well, why is the national champion ranked 2 or 3? The champion is 1 until they're beaten.
Okay, Ric Flair, I like that.
To me,
I hear you. No, but they're going off what the roster thinks for this year. If the national champion lost their entire roster, I'm not gonna. I understand.
But they're still the national champion.
I understand. I just think you shouldn't. I mean, it's good for TV to say this preseason matchup of these ranked teams. It looks better on paper, but it really means nothing.
No, absolutely.
That's the problem. And we were just touching on it. Conference championship games, do they matter at this point? They're saying you should reward, but also not punish.
Right.
It's a weird game. If you're a team that's 12, 13, you're like, why do we even want to play in this game?
Right.
We could risk our seeding for some team that's home and benefits.
Right. And Georgia, they benefited from winning the SEC last year. Right? They won last year.
No,
right?
Alabama crushed them.
Alabama crushed them.
No, Georgia won. Georgia won.
Yeah, Georgia won.
Georgia won, and they didn't punish Alabama for being there.
Right.
But Alabama split with Georgia.
Right.
And they helped their strength of schedule.
It was like, well, they beat the SEC champ.
On the road.
But they got killed in that. But losing a championship game should matter.
I agree.
Like if you
I don't like rewarding a team for not getting there either.
But here's the thing. Like, I think Alabama should have got punished for being blown out.
Yeah. Yeah, they said if it was close, we'd understand.
If it was close, I would understand. They got killed. Yeah. Like they got killed.
It was
a mauling. And listen, and so to me, you gotta have the regular season matter. You can't have 24 teams. Like, and I don't want if you want to reward one of the group of 5 schools, fine. 1. We can't have James Madison, Tulane. Can't have all of them in there. Yes, the ACC was down last year. I get it. They punished themselves. But you can't put all these mediocre teams in there.
But also, NCAA is also trying to force Notre Dame to join a conference in some capacity.
Look, bad on the ACC and COVID to not lock Notre Dame into a conference at that point.
I don't think they would have done it.
They had the chance to do it.
They had the chance, but Notre Dame has the money to say, well, we won't play football for a year. They're not going to go bankrupt there.
I know.
Notre Dame holds the cards there where we don't but
the commissioner had the chance to do it because then it would have been
Notre Dame did give some of their NBC money that year.
Right.
The only time they've ever done that.
But I'm saying you have the ACC commissioner, basically lobbying against Notre Dame, and now is lobbying for Notre Dame and the ACC. He
lobbied for Miami.
When he lobbied for Miami. Because
what he did which was one of the most scumbag moves ever. I understand Notre Dame's not a full-time member in football. They are in every other sport except for hockey, but there's no hockey in the ACC.
No, I think they're Big Ten or something.
Big Ten in hockey, ACC in everything, and partial in football.
Yeah.
But what blew me away was, first of all, they wouldn't even lobby for us.
No.
3 years ago, and I know I sound like the bitter old man about it, but they wouldn't at all for us. But Miami, they played that Miami Notre Dame game on a loop the whole weekend.
I know. And even guys
that is shady because they're still a partner of yours.
Well, but it wasn't Herbstreit who brought it. It was Galloway. it was
Right, Reese,
Reese,
McElroy.
McElroy, but the EJ Manuel mentioned it. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, you lobbied against a team that you could have had an extra team in the
Yeah,
playoff.
I didn't
And
understand that.
and you killed Notre Dame for what
Well,
reason?
but they were under the impression that it was going to be one or the other.
But and we
That's what
all
the narrative was.
but we
It
all
was
fell into that narrative when it was really should have been
ESPN controls the narrative.
right. And the real narrative was Notre Dame, Alabama, not
Correct.
Notre
That
Dame,
was Miami.
Miami, because Miami beat Notre Dame.
Correct.
But the committee, for some reason, put Miami below Notre Dame for whatever reason.
It was all for pomp and circumstance. And Herb
Right.
Street basically blew the curtain off that after.
Yeah.
When he said, well, I know we do a lot of stuff for show. It's funny. Herb Street always gives his, quote, truthful opinion when the final 12 come out.
All right. So, okay. I went back to last year's standings for a minute since we're talking about this 2014 playoff, right? These were the bottom teams following these were the final rankings from the AP poll. Final rankings. Now
after conference championship?
This was after the season. Yeah. I don't know if it was after. This was
weekend.
Whatever it was.
Okay.
So obviously we know Texas didn't get in. Oklahoma. These are the final rankings after the season was over because it has them 16-0. But if you look at it, near the bottom of the list, you had Iowa, Houston, USC, Navy, Michigan, Georgia Tech was there, like Vandy, Utah. There were some heavy hitters going into the playoff.
There were. It would have been some. Even Vandy on the road at Oregon would have been interesting, or
right.
One of these matchups. And that was the thing. Also, is you did Oklahoma, Alabama. Whether Alabama deserved to be there or not, you gave us a rematch of something we already saw in the year.
Right.
I'm all for rematches if it has to happen. If you can avoid a rematch, let's not do that.
Yeah, and we didn't need to see it again.
Yeah, that was the thing. It was a good game earlier in the year. I'm not arguing that. I was surprised Oklahoma. Anyway, if we can avoid a rematch, if it gets to the semifinals, finals, whatever, I'm fine with that.
Right.
But I don't need it in the first round.
No, I don't need it. Yeah. So, I mean, okay, so we headed – okay, so BYU was – so these were the top whatever because we knew some of the slots would be different because they would give teams like JMU and Tulane. So heading into there, obviously 11 was Notre Dame, BYU was 12, Texas 13, Vandy 14, Utah 15, USC was 16, Arizona 17, Michigan was 18, Virginia, Tulane got in, JMU got in. Yeah, Georgia Tech, I was 8-4. North Texas was 11-2. Houston was there. Like, I'm not sure some of these teams would be able to compete with some of the big boys at the top.
Oregon or LSU, they wouldn't have.
No.
Who played? LSU. No, Ole Miss played Tulane. Right. None of them would have competed with Ole Miss. A few that you mentioned there. What gets me is they're supposed to be thinking about the bottom line, the dollar, and the rating. Could you imagine the money Texas would have spent to go out to Oregon, like fan base and TV revenue?
That would have been a hell of a game.
Hell of a game. Or Notre Dame at Oregon. Those are two of the biggest traveling fan bases with Notre Dame's a ratings monster.
Right.
You didn't think about that?
No, you have to.
Like, who played 10 times a tougher schedule than those two teams? Like, the James Madison Tulane one still blows me away.
And everybody talks about wins and losses. Well, if we want to talk about wins and losses, then the regular season has to matter.
Yeah, and strength of schedule.
And strength of schedule and all the other malarkey that goes into it. And now
you're seeing, have you noticed a lot of home and homes are getting canceled though?
Yeah, because everybody wants to play cupcake schedules because they want to get in the playoff.
Yeah, like Florida State, Georgia just canceled their home and home.
Isn't that going to be decided on neutral site though? They may go.
They're saying 28 neutral site. It's so stupid.
It's so dumb.
I know this is off topic. I was so excited to go to Athens for a game.
Yeah, in the hedges. Everybody knows.
I want to see it. It's not far from Tallahassee if you live there. We don't.
No, it's really not.
We don't have many games where we can, like, our fans there can drive to.
That would have been a game.
4.5, 5 hour drive. Perfect.
Saturday in Athens, Florida State goes. Oh,
to Georgia, which is two Southeast teams who don't really get to play often. It's great for
No.
recruiting both sides. And then we had set it up. The one time we actually did something right was we requested with Georgia, can we do it on the year when we have Miami come into town? And that's our only really good home game.
Right.
It was set up perfectly. I think Clemson LSU has done it right. Texas Ohio State, you think they're going to regret going to Austin this year and Columbus
No.
this year? It's meant to be. These neutral site games to start is so dumb beginning of the year.
No, I hate it. I want college campus games. You go over to overseas, a lot of that stuff. Real quick before we wrap up, we touched on this on the nightcap recap, but I want to get just a little bit more in depth here. Lane Kiffin, it's a lot of stuff coming out. It's talking some more. We all get it. Lane, we know why you went to LSU. But you can say it. Like, we all know why you went. Better recruiting, better money, all this. But here's the thing: what everybody needs to understand.
I'm sorry, real quick. So sorry. Would you have said the same thing if he had gone to Florida?
Yes,
I would have
absolutely. I would have said the same thing, buddy. Here's my issue. Everybody's like, well, it's because Lane didn't want to. Lane's bitter about not coaching in the playoff. Well, here's the deal, Lane. You could have stayed there. You had the opportunity to stay and coach the team and honor your contract.
Yeah. Well, he also tried delaying his decision.
Right.
On purpose, even though they knew he was leaving.
Right. They're like, well, we know what you're doing. Like, you're not going to come in and recruit our kids through the playoff and take everybody with you. No, you're leaving. You're leaving. You're leaving. Go take the job. Or this is what most sports teams do. Ole Miss could have said, no, you're not talking to him. He's under contract till after the season. You can talk to him.
He's not, but his agent can.
Yeah, his agent
can. No way around that, though. That's the problem.
That's the problem. You can't do that. See, unless the college sport.
I don't talk to teams till the season's over if they're going to do it.
Bull.
The agent, Jimbo Fisher, did that when we knew he was lying.
Yeah, right. But just come out and say it. But again, it's all a recruiting tactic. You and I both know how recruiting works in college football. You got all these teams piling on Ole Miss, and now September 19th is just added more fuel to the fire to a night game in Oxford. That's going to be ridiculous.
I think he wanted that night spot there.
Yeah, I definitely.
His ego, and magically, they got a 6:30 kickoff right after his comments.
Right, and magically, College Game Day is going there that day.
Magically, all these things happen within 48 hours of his ridiculous comments.
Yeah,
Lane's smart like that. He knows how to play the game.
But either way, if he had gone to Florida or LSU, I'd still have the same opinion. If you want to change, if you think you're a changed man and you want to be changed and you want to be viewed differently, then do the right thing, and you would have stayed at Ole Miss and you would have built a winner and gotten a statue there.
That town really, he was starting to get the Bowden treatment there. Not Bowden. Let me rephrase that.
Bowden, Paterno.
Bowden to Florida State from ashes.
Dude. Bowden, Paterno, Jimmy Johnson, all the Schembeckler, all those guys. Howard
Snellenberger, even more.
Yeah, Snellenberger. All the
Miami didn't even have a place to practice when he took it.
All the old school guys that were there for a long time. It's those days are done because let me tell you something. College basketball.
That's it.
The way college basketball is going, you don't make the playoff. You don't make your tournament, you're out. If college football gets to that point, you thought college coaches were getting going through the carousel, and these buyouts were a big deal. It's going to happen more.
I agree. That was the first thing I noticed with the 4-team playoff was if you were out of the playoff, there were much more early season firings when they went to 4-team playoff.
Right.
You were still in it before.
Right.
The 4-team made it quicker, and then the 12 makes it even quicker.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you can hang around a little longer in 12. I take that back.
Yeah, you could take 4-team. It was tough because one loss you were out. But 24.
Forget it.
You're out. You're done. You're gone. You thought these buyouts were ridiculous now? Now it's going to be stupid. To me, it's a year-to-year league. It's a year-to-year thing with college football, NFL. You might as well just sign a 1-year contract at this point.
Well, I mean, Jimmy Sexton has all the leverage, unfortunately.
I know. We know that.
We could do another episode on him.
We could. Yeah, exactly.
But I'm so sorry. You were talking about Kiffin. I apologize.
No. But everything comes back to point with Kiffin. It all ties in because what if Like, does he? Because say it's old 14, old 12, whatever, or even the BCS, he's probably leaving anyway for better pasture at LSU. But he built something at Ole Miss to get them to a playoff spot. Ole Miss was never really a contender in the SEC until he got there.
They were a mid-tier program when he took over.
Right. And they were the only team that gave him a chance, and he turned his life around there, but he's still the same old guy.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So
it was just, we talked about this. Yeah, my whole thing with that was, I could see, because Lane loves attention, we know that. If he was at SEC Media Day and there were 12 microphones in his face, I'm not even talking about it as press conference. I'm talking about
right.
It does like the side media stuff.
Yeah.
If he had just said that, then I'd have been like, well, he's looking for a little attention at SEC Media Day and he's trying to shake things up at LSU. I get it a little bit, even though I don't agree with what he said. He did it on some May Day when there was no news going on, when there was no, he just.
And according to the reporter, he wasn't prompt to do it. He just did it. He just did it.
Yeah, it's like he woke up one morning and I choose violence today.
Yeah, I choose to bury Ole Miss today. I need to bury Ole Miss a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's what it was. He woke up bitter one morning, had a day off maybe, I don't know, and it was like an angry kid. You know, like when you're mad about something and you're like, I'm picking some random day to just go after somebody.
Yep.
That was it.
Yeah.
So it was so premeditated that even if people agree with him, they're going to say, no, look at the timing.
Bad timing.
Doesn't make sense.
No, it makes zero sense. And that's a perfect way to wrap it and put everything together. Timing doesn't make sense for 24 teams. The NCAA, and we could go into this down a rabbit hole with the NCAA, and we can do this another time. But the NCAA has made poor decisions. They're going to try to cover up poor decisions by trying to expand a playoff that doesn't need to be expanded. Make the regular season matter, make the games matter, because in the end, the fans benefit, the game benefits, and it makes it better. The only one caveat is what you and I want. We need 2 rounds of home campus games.
Oh, I agree. And what's going to dictate things also is the SEC. Yeah. If they're completely against it, which word is they are, and they're talking about having their own tournament and crowning their own champion, then I think things, because the SEC controls the sport right now.
Right. Yeah.
Big Ten's close, but with Fox, they don't completely, because ESPN should not be covering every game in the playoffs. Could you imagine the NFL if Fox had every game or CBS had every game? There needs to be a little balance.
Right.
I don't think college football would be upset if they went to like 2 super conferences.
Oh, it's coming.
I wouldn't love it. It's coming.
It's coming. We all know it's coming.
This is what they're using to drive their narrative. I just don't understand, and I want to ask you this, and I'm sorry, why the college football feels it has to be the NFL in every which way possible now. I'm not even talking from dollar standpoint. I'm talking from portal, from spring ball isn't what it used to be.
Money.
Neutral site games.
Money.
Of course.
It's money. You know the answer. It's money.
I wanted to hear you say
that. But I think there's pressure from the NFL now because you're hearing a lot of coaches and a lot of teams say these guys aren't ready to be coming to the NFL anymore, the portal, this and that. Yeah. They're trying to make this they're going to try to take college football and try to make it into a developmental league that they want to try to control as well. Or that maybe down the road they try to merge with CFL and do it that way. But the UFL is not that.
No.
For all the narratives and the people on Twitter and the marks for the UFL and all that stuff saying, oh, look at the ratings and look at there's nobody at the game. Like, please stop.
And NFL Europe never panned out to be the developmental.
NFL Europe is not that.
You know why NFL Europe failed? And I taught the players was they would go right from NFL Europe into the season. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
It was too much football.
Right. So I think the real question is how do they control it? The NCAA is trying to get, but there's no rules in NCAA. It's free agency without the rules. Portal, timing, schedule. Like, you and I could deep dive and really fix college football. Everybody knows it. All the coaches want the season to start earlier and end at the beginning of January. That's where it needs to be. That's how the playoffs should be.
This calendar has got to be the biggest joke I've ever seen in any sport.
It is. It's the worst calendar in any sport.
We need Saban to be a commissioner. The SEC can never go for it, but
no. Saban and Sankey, that's it.
No, I don't want Sankey.
All right, well, give me Saban then.
Saban. I want a guy
Saban.
who coaches at the best, understands it, but he has been on it about the calendar.
Yeah, calendar sucks.
It's
Coaches
an
hate the calendar.
Why,
Mario
why, why?
Cristobal doesn't look. If the NCAA actually listen to the coaches, coaches are not in favor of a 2014 playoff. They hate the calendar and they want it fixed.
It's interesting. The key people at ESPN are against it right now.
Yeah,
They won't matter. It's all the executives at the top, except for
yeah,
Hershey. He has say influence. Let me rephrase that.
yeah.
But don't get rid of. Man, the rivalries are what make college football so special.
We need rivalry weekend back. We need the
We need
rivalries.
I don't care even if it's week 4 or 5. I want the game to mean something.
Right, exactly.
I want
Because the
Michigan
win
week 4 or 5 mean something.
And to bring it to our other love, which is pro wrestling, wins and losses to matter. You need to earn everything.
I agree. Like Florida State Miami has never been last weekend. Obviously, we play Florida.
Yeah.
I want it to matter.
Right. How many? Real quick before we end this, how many years did Florida State Miami matter?
It was about a 7 to 10 year stretch where it was a top 5 matchup.
Every year,
had more NFL combined talent on 2 teams.
Yeah.
I mean, I always joke with people how many national titles we would have had if there was the 14 playoff on that dynasty run.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it for sour grapes, but that game determined the national title for so long.
Oh God!
Florida did for a while in the Bowden Spurrier years.
Yeah. This is what you want.
Complain about it being the last weekend of the year because it was right into the SEC championship. And Jimbo was actually pushing to have it week 1. Believe it or not, that game.
That would have been sick too.
He was pushing. He said to me, he's like, I don't mind playing that game. I just don't like it last weekend.
That would have been sick to open a season. That would have been sick.
But we tried that with Miami a few times, and those were some of the worst games.
Yeah, because it's the first game.
You're right. Exactly.
That's what you need.
But these teams are much better prepared week 1.
Right. Exactly.
2 years ago.
We're going to see what happens, but the major
Ohio State, Texas was a prime example this year.
It wasn't that great.
It wasn't good at all. But if they rematch later in the year, it would have been a 10 times better game.
Right. I think you're going to see some of the games pushed a little bit later into the season, but not too much.
But you got to have good games week 1. They're finally realizing that a little.
Right.
For a while, it was nothing but cupcakes and maybe one decent game.
One decent game, maybe one day. Usually it was like LSU played like Clemson or Florida State played somebody.
Right.
But other than that, it was nothing.
You're absolutely right.
But here it is, guys. We're just getting started here with Around Campus. Me and Jeremy are going to be throughout this off season, next season, whatever. Talking ball. Can't wait. We had to come on here. We got to drop some nuggets for you on this 2014 playoff. We both hate it. It's not good for the sport. Let us know what your thoughts are on the 2014 college football playoff. Are you for it? Why are you for it? What's your favorite part of the playoff? What do you want? Again, Jim Biringer, Jemmy Evans. Check them out on Rock and Roll channel. Get this up. Specialty Media, Full Press Media on YouTube. Follow along. We'll be back, guys. Take care.